Hey guys, today I'm going to be sauteing up some fresh collard greens right from my garden, but I'm not going to be using any oil. It's going to be a completely whole food plant-based, low-fat way to saute collard greens. I hope you can stick around and see just how I do it. Hey guys, today for our sauteed collard greens, all we're going to need is a few ingredients, and that is some fresh collard greens. Now, I just picked these straight from my vegan and organic garden, but going to the grocery store, you can find a bunch or two to pick up for this recipe. We have our collard greens. We're also going to be using a cup and a half of water. Depending on how many collard greens you're going to be sauteing up, that could be 1 cup to 2 cups. And then to cook this, we're going to be using the Instant Pot with the saute setting. So if you do not have an Instant Pot, do not fear. You can do this on the stove top at a medium heat, the exact same recipe, the exact same way, still follow along. And I will say, I really hope that I can use this video to show others how you can really cook without using oil or added fats, because I feel like collard greens are the stereotypical, it needs butter, it needs oil to be done, but I want to show you today that it does not, and it can be made just as delicious and taste fantastic without any added fats. So I'm going to bring you in here and we're going to get started on these collard greens. The first thing that we're going to do is take our collard greens, and now I like to just rinse them off by doing it in the sink with some warm water, and I am just going to go ahead, just make sure they get cleaned off nicely. You can add in some veg wash or some apple cider vinegar. Any of those will work, but we're just going to get these all washed off, and then we'll take them and put them in the Instant Pot and get started with the sauteing. Got our Instant Pot ready to go. Now what I am going to do is take our water and we're going to put that in there. Now you can go ahead and start on the saute setting. So we're just going to click saute, and I'm going to set it for 10 minutes. Now after those 10 minutes are up, we're going to go ahead and let it cook down a little bit longer, but we're going to have 10 minutes with the lid closed. But now all I like to do is take the collard greens, just strip them off, and I might break them down a little bit, but you've got to understand that, you know, these are going to break down quite a bit. So I'm going to do this with all the collard greens. Okay, we've got our collard greens in here. Now we're going to close the lid. We're going to leave it to the vented setting, but we're going to close that and let that go for 10 minutes. We're going to open it back up, mix it around, and then we'll do a little bit more sauteing once the lid is open, just to let some of that moisture come up. So we'll be back when those 10 minutes are up. Okay, our timer just went off. If it does reach pressure, that is okay. Now all we're going to do is stir these around, and we're going to go ahead and use the saute setting once again for another 10 minutes, and just come by, make sure you're stirring them. But after those 10 minutes, these collard greens should be perfect, and most of the moisture should be well evaporated, and we won't have to worry about soggy greens. But let's let that saute for another 10 minutes. We'll be back when that's done. Okay, our 10-minute timer, the second 10-minute timer with the lid open, just went off. Now I did periodically come through and mix it around, but as you can tell, there is not much moisture left in there. Most of it's been evaporated away, and that is what we want. But these greens look fantastic. Something you can do is just leave the lid open. You don't have to put the saute setting back on again, but it'll just continue evaporating, and you should end up with just some good sauteed greens. You can also turn the saute setting back on until all the moisture is evaporated, whatever you prefer. And you can keep these cooking on a low setting, add in some other ingredients, but I think I am just going to have a nice bowl of these and maybe some hot sauce. But I'm going to get the kitchen cleaned up a little bit, and I'll see you guys in just a second. The kitchen has been tidied up. It smells great in here, and I will mention that, you know, if you are going to use these in another recipe, like if you just want some sauteed collard greens to maybe throw in some soup, like I'm getting ready to do. I have some potato soup on the stove, which will be an upcoming recipe video, but I like throwing these in there. Adds a little bit different texture, and it's always great to throw some greens in. But if you like eating these just plain, you can always add in some garlic powder and onion powder as a quick way to flavor it. And then I know a lot of people enjoy, myself included, some hot sauce on the greens or maybe just a little bit of salt. But I'm going to go ahead and give this a try. Absolutely fantastic. We had our first frost not too long ago. And so if you know anything about how these cruciferous vegetables and a lot of garden vegetables work, the more cold hardy ones, they are resistant to things like a frost, but how they do it is they convert the sugars to protect them. And so after the first frost, things like collard greens and kale taste so much sweeter, so much more delicious. If you've never tried them, I would highly recommend it. This way to do it is really easy, whether you're doing it on the stove top, sauteing for 10 with the lid on, and then 10 more with the lid off at a medium heat, or you're doing it in the Instant Pot. It's going to produce a great result, a delicious result, and a very healthy way to eat your greens. My favorite way to have collard greens, and I actually cooked this exact recipe at our Thanksgiving get-together about a week ago. But I really hope you guys enjoy this recipe video. If you do give it a try, please let me know how it goes in the comment section below. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, please go ahead, give the page a like and a subscribe. It really helps out. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and share it with all your friends. Let them know how to cook and saute without oil these delicious collard greens. As always, this recipe, my past and future recipes, can be found at plantbasedgabriel.com. I am Plant-Based Gabriel, hoping you enjoyed today's recipe video, and I will hopefully see you very, very soon.